Ha! Now you can actually see me. My name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane. Welcome to Rock in the Valley Cyber Speakeasy, your source for music, conversation, and cocktails. And so I hope you're here and able to enjoy a wonderful, refreshing beverage along with us this evening. So we've been away for a little bit. We haven't done one of the Cyber Speakeasy shows since the summer, but I'm very, very excited to be bringing the show back now. We're going to do a bunch of shows between now and the end of the year. And to kick things off wonderfully, I'm very, very excited. We have with us members of the band Service Dog. And yeah, there they are. Thanks so much to members of the band Service Dog for joining us here this evening. We've got Leo Modalise and Christina Giacoletti. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did.
All right. Leo and Christina, I definitely can get that part.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for joining us. What do you each have to drink this evening?
I have Jameson and orange juice.
Very nice. It sounds like the temperature of the drink is chilled, but that it would sort of be a warming sensation with that one. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. I have some apple cider here. Some cold apple cider with some fun things inside of it.
Ooh, what kind of fun things inside of it?
Just got some Fireball in there.
Very nice. All right, very nice. I also have apple cider. I got this cute little tiny mason jar, but I'm like, hey, this will work, and got some nice little cinnamon sticks with it as well, and actually I did warm this one up. So there you go. We'll all be warm in our different ways this evening. Cheers! Thanks so much to you two for joining me here this evening.
Thanks for having us.
And to everyone who is out there watching us at home, I hope that you also have a tasty and refreshing and possibly warm beverage with you wherever you are in what you're doing. So let's get right into it. To talk about Service Dog. So let's start with just sort of talking about the band in case folks are not as familiar with that. I should also say for the folks who are out there watching us, or if any of your bandmates end up watching us, please leave a comment on the YouTube stream. Let us know that things are working as we think they are, because it doesn't always go according to plan. But so far so good. I as far as I can tell. Talk to us about Service Dog. And when you say, "Oh, I'm in a band," and they say, "Oh, what kind of band?" What are the things that you say to describe it?
That's like one of the worst questions for it.
I know, but it is out there. Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We usually say, because I used to play the songs just with me and Wyatt, and we just play acoustic together for about a year there. So we used to just tell everyone it's like indie folk. Mm-hmm. And then with the addition of 4 new members in the last like 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Now it's, I'd say what, indie rock?
I'd say alternative indie folk rock.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right.
Jazz, reggae.
No, not that. Alternative indie folk rock.
I didn't really hear reggae, but
not at all.
No, he's joking.
in listening to some of the clips that you had shown that you had sent along to me of the full band playing, I was getting kind of like a lo-fi Radiohead kind of thing going, but also that there's definitely an aspect of some ambient influence and a lot of improvisation or sort of the improvised music kind of being part of the sound as well. I guess another way to describe it sometimes is, to give people a point of comparison, like what are some other bands that you think of, or that you or Wyatt or you, Christina, and other people think about as sort of points of comparison there?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I don't know. I think a lot of
that's rough.
The ambient tones that you hear in like the full band and stuff. A lot of that comes from Wyatt and Alex. They both play lead guitar, and they're like incredible with figuring out tones and harmonizing, and just having 3 guitars in a band is not easy to balance out.
Yeah, but it can end up sounding really cluttered.
They know how to like write together where it sounds like this beautiful big pad of harmonizing sounds, and then they can more intricate melodies that are still harmonized. But
right.
With that, I think we sound more.
Honestly, I think it's more so every individual within the band is coming into it with different musical background and inspirations. And
Okay.
I think we all kind of have a large like repertoire of music that we listen to. And I think then we bring all of those things together, and then it kind of has created its own thing that we can't, I don't know if like I would
Yeah, I
compare it to anything. I mean,
I can't
it
pinpoint
sounds
it.
really like self-righteous
but-
to say, like, can't compare it to anything else, but like you
Right.
hear it like in also in like the different songs, you can definitely hear like the different influences that like go into every single one.
Sure.
And it also depends, I think, on what everyone's listening to at the time.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
especially when so much of it is improvised that
Yeah.
whatever's the last thing in your head is going to come out through your hands and with the instrument.
Right,
you're playing.
exactly.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
always been like a huge fan of like Justin Vernon, Bon Iver, all that like
Yeah.
super ambient. Just it's folk, but has this huge ambient stuff
Yeah.
behind it. And like the drums, like on their live shows, the drums are just like insane, in your face, heavy, loud, fast, like crazy. But in the recordings, they're just super tamed, and
No way
I
back.
think it's just it creates this just a super cool experience where you can listen to it, and they're super easy to listen to. You can sing to them and everything. You go see them live, and it's like this huge, just like beautiful thing that's so different than the record. But I don't know. That's I mean that's one of my biggest influences. I wouldn't say we sound like them much, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that influences the songwriting too, and because that's
Right.
part of where you start. And so I want to get back to the songwriting, but before we go too far, you mentioned all these new members that have been added to the band. But so we can refer to them and what they contribute. Give us a rundown on who all is in the band these days.
So we have Alex Ebel. He joined. He plays lead guitar, and he uses a bunch of crazy pedals. He just does his thing. I don't know. He's very he knows how to do it. That's all I can say. And then Wyatt Davidic, he plays guitar as well.
Wyatt's been in the band since the beginning, you should mention.
Yeah, he's
original.
always. I'd say now he's like probably my biggest influence on making music, because we worked writing music for so long now that it's
Yeah. Well, and the two of you were Leo, you and Wyatt were kind of the core of the band when it formed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have Kai, Gary, Cornell. I can't pronounce her last name, but she plays bass, and he also tells jokes on stage,
and she does do some vocal
she
as well.
sings.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a really incredible musician.
Yeah, she's very entertaining and knows how to. She knows how to lift like anybody up. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
she can go into a room of like all these people just like sitting doing nothing and just like light up everyone's face.
That's awesome.
And then Fig is our newest member. He plays drums, and we got super lucky with him. Like beyond lucky, honestly. We played that show at Sokol's, that video I sent you, and he came up to us afterwards. And this was after we were looking for a drummer for probably like a good year, and we played with a few people, and we were just like, it's not working. Like, and we pretty much gave up on looking, and we were like, let's just do this. Like, this works. This is whatever. And after that show, he came up and he's like, you guys need a drummer. And we were like,
funny you should ask.
Yeah.
And we practiced with him. Honestly, the first practice, it was just insane. Like, everybody clicked.
Really
and we
nice.
just like all sat around and we were like, what just happened? Like that.
Oh man, it's so cool when it comes together like that.
Yeah, it's really incredible being able to connect like that. Yeah. And then Christina.
And then I've kind of always been around.
For the past 4 years.
For the past 4 years. But just recently I started doing some backup vocals.
Nice.
And so
she's always helped, like even with like writing songs. I'd always like just be like, how does this sound? And she'd be like, no, that's not good. Like, do this. And I'm like, thanks. And
I was a soundboard at first, and now
yeah.
and now I sing. So.
Well, there you go. That's excellent. Well, and if I remember correctly, one of the one of the things that's interesting about you as a band is that well, it's first off, it's one thing these days to kind of be in the same COVID pod with people. So like, okay, this is the bubble. These are the people that we interact with, and we're kind of limiting our contact. But if I remember correctly, it goes a little bit farther than that with you as a band. Was there a point where people are just actually in the same space a lot of the time, or how?
I mean, we definitely we jammed with other people with the band. I don't know. You know Matt Truscott? He plays saxophone.
Okay.
We jammed with him once, and that was really good. We haven't really, when we get together, it's not like a bunch. Like we don't really invite people over. We just kind of hang to ourselves.
Right.
And I'm kind of myself.
Are there members of the band who live together? I guess is what I'm driving at.
Oh yeah, Kai and Alex live together.
Yes.
And yeah.
And
So they're
That's also
always
that's also because they're in a relationship, though.
Okay.
So that is why they live together. But
Okay.
yeah.
But other than that,
I guess for people who may not be clear, I want to, in terms of Leo, you and Christina.
Yep.
Yeah, we are in a relationship.
There's a reason that Christina was around to offer feedback on songwriting.
Exactly.
Yes.
Before the band.
Yeah,
started,
we actually had gotten together under the impression, I guess, of just collaborating musically because we met at an open mic.
Nice.
And then 4 years down the line, we finally decided to do it. So collaborate musically.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent.
It was a long process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And so, actually, I think that's a pretty good segue to going into to hearing you play a little bit.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Perfect. I'll throw it over to you. Take it away.
Awesome. You want to talk a little bit?
We'll just, I don't know which one he's going to start with. Okay. This is a little short and sweet one.
Yeah, this song's like a minute long, but it's called Dollars, sometimes Weekend Hours, because I can't decide on anything.
So the title of the song is either Dollars or Weekend Hours.
Yeah, maybe dollars and then parentheses
weekend hours. That's what I was thinking too. Yes,
like
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
There you go. Put that on the record. All right, take it away.
All right. Count your dollars, I know you're proud of them weekend hours. I know you're tired of them too. And take back those words you said when you weren't sober like you are now. No, you can't change a thing. Complicating problems. I've created problems for myself, like I've got nothing else better to do. And I'm spent trying to find a way to get a better voice in the vantage point without leaving you aside. A medley of sentiment, offset and wide-eyed.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, that one gets a little loud at the end.
I honestly forgot about that ending point until we started doing it.
Yeah. I normally don't play guitar. That whole ending, it just cuts out to everyone else in the band.
Okay,
So
sure.
it's really weird to do that.
Yeah. Well, we're breaking all sorts of new ground this evening.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when speaking of the band and speaking of arrangements and how that sorts of things kind of go, I know one of the things we definitely want to talk about is the recording process that you collectively are going through at this point. That you have an album that you're working on, right?
Yeah. That's going to be around like 9 to 10 songs. We usually just like, I mean, I've had some of these songs for a while now, and they've just gone, through their different phases or whatever. But they also just started as like just phone recordings that I send out to like Wyatt, Christina, the whole band basically, and then we get together and just like jam on them in the basement. A lot of the songs on this record, Wyatt and I had all of our parts already written before bringing it to everybody.
Okay.
And then that kind of, just took its course. We recorded some demos at my house.
Okay.
And right now, we're actually trying to tighten up those demos, and then we're going to go over to Matt Mulchaney at Shards.
Okay.
We did 2 songs with him so far, and yeah, his work's incredible. So
Nice.
he really knows how to make you sound like you.
Yeah.
Like,
which is a real challenge sometimes. I mean, and trying to. I'm curious about that too, in the process of how you found. Would it be accurate to describe him as a producer in addition to? I'm sorry, obviously he's doing engineering work, but that sounds like he's doing a lot of production.
He has a huge amount of influence.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely points where like you can bring a song to him, and you don't know outside of your own head.
Sure.
Once someone says something that you never thought of, it could be completely like
A big game changer. Yeah.
Right.
completely change the song, but for the better. And he's really good at doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me personally, when I went in to do like my vocals and stuff, like I already had like what I've been doing for however long we've been playing these songs.
Sure.
And then he offers advice and like, it's like, oh, what about doing this? Like he, as someone who hasn't been like playing these songs over and over and over again,
Right.
like he's listening to it with a pair of fresh ears,
exactly.
and so that he can, like, he gives really good advice. And I mean, he's super talented as a musician and as a producer and like everything. So
he's got it all figured out.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's good. But I think one of the things that too is it can be a real challenge to find a producer who has a sound that's compatible with what you're going for.
Yeah, for sure.
And that you've got, because you have an idea of generally where you want it to go. And it's really easy for a producer to come in and say, I have this great idea. And you listen to it and you're like, well, it is a great idea, but maybe not for us, or the record ends up not really sounding like you. So it's really cool that you've, and actually, that's one of the questions is, how did you end up finding someone who had that really very intuitive sense of what you needed for the band? I mean, did you like listen to a bunch of different producers, or just you kind of knew them and it clicked right away? How did that come together?
How did you find
So
Matt?
I met Matt through my friends that played in Banshee, Aiden Bloomfield, Chad Brown, Corey Lantaff. They had this band that they were doing in high school together and a little bit after, but they went and recorded with him. And just like brought him up to me. And at that point, Service Dog was years from existing, but we had a band,
we had a
Girl Hands, and we actually went there. I recorded everything at my house, but we brought everything there for the first like EP thing.
Okay.
And he mixed everything, and I was just like, whoa! Like we would tell him like what we want, and he's just like got it and like does it, and you're just like, and he's so fast, it's insane.
Yeah.
And then we also did 2 live songs with him, and it's just incredible. Like, I don't know, it's crazy how he gets the sound he does with like a live band playing in close quarters with each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the other things with the band, and before I don't want to get too far along before we mention this, Service Dog is a great name for a band. I'm imagining there's got to be, and I should say this too, since I perform as not for Coltrane, and Coltrane was my dog. There's a little bit of I feel a little bit of a kinship there. But in addition to what is Service Dog? Was it just totally random? Has it taken on additional meaning? Where did that come from?
Wow.
I
He
think
was, well, you were originally playing as, he decided to go as the Pavement.
that was
Okay.
our
That
old
was-
drummer.
That was
He's-
his old, this was like
This is a
way
whole-
long
yeah.
ago. And so his
He
drummer
was
at
like,
the time.
I always wanted to be in a band called The Pavement with a period at the end of it. And I was like, all right. I mean,
Sure, I don't have anything better
I'm not-
right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that, even though,
It-
Pavement, the band, is huge and great.
Right.
So I was like, it'll change. And then Wyatt actually came along like a few months after that. And he was like, yeah, we should change it. What about Service Dog? And I was like, yeah, that works. That's great. He had like this whole list of band names. And we were just like, yeah, let's do that. But after playing under that for so long, I think the connection now is that like the songs themselves they work as Service Dogs do to people. They work to me as like they're more of like a release, I guess. And
Sure, that emotional comfort.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's when you can't say something to someone, you write it down and sing it, and then it's better. You feel better
nice.
about it.
Yeah.
So
That's very cool. And so the new album from Service Dog, is there a name for the album just yet?
no, I don't think so.
No.
Like you're saying, we didn't even have a clear title in the song you just played. So
Yeah,
I guess that's sort of in line with that.
I was thinking the last line in that last song, which is a medley of sentiment, Offset and Wide Eyed, and I don't know. I was thinking about it, but
That's strong.
yeah, I don't know.
For the first, was it the first album you released
Yeah,
back in the day?
Howard Ground, yeah,
That one you didn't decide on until like later on. So
yeah.
actually, I think I came up with that name.
You did. Yep.
But so yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'll
That's
it'll
excellent.
happen.
Yeah, we figure it out. Very cool. Oh, and I should mention too, I just looked over and see that we have Madeleine. Leo is
That's
my
my
mom.
That's your mom. All right. Hi, Leo's mom. Thanks for joining us. I'm grateful for that. Yeah. So, in fact, so we've talked a little bit about the band. I would love to play one of the clips of. I guess really it's not the full band at this point, but I think it's 4 of you who were at that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
It was, I think, Leo, Wyatt, Kai, and Alex,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Soulful show. Yeah, that was fun.
and for folk, actually, I'm not sure I'm familiar with Sopals. Where is that, or is there any more of a story behind the show
on
there?
So I think that was one of our first shows there.
Uh-huh.
It's
I went to a few of them there.
Yeah,
It's
but-
over on south side of Bethlehem, but it's almost like it's on the hill, kind of by Lehigh. But it's
like
like
a private club, kind of?
yeah,
Not
it's a
really. What
private
is
club,
it?
but they rent out the upstairs. It's like a
Okay.
huge. It used to be a gymnasium, like it used to be a Russian gymnasium for
Okay.
Russian Olympics. But they converted it to just like an open area that anyone can rent out. And then downstairs is a bar, pool table, and like 6 or 8 bowling alleys
Yeah.
that are all free.
Yeah, it's like one of those places
Whoa.
that you pay like a monthly fee or a
No,
yearly
it's
fee.
Okay.
$20 for the entire year.
Oh yeah, that was what
And
it
you get
is.
free bowling. You get to hang out with like a bunch of cool people. I don't know. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'll have to post some links to that. The songs that you have up on YouTube, I should say as well, but we're gonna play one of them now. Tired and Worked Up. Is that a good direction for us to go?
Definitely.
All right. So, and I should also say this: everyone who is watching at home should be able to see and hear this with no trouble. I'm also going to try to configure it so that Christina and Leo can see and hear what everyone else is seeing and hearing. But we'll see how that goes. All right. So this is the band Service Dog. We'll put it on there. All right. The band is Service Dog. The song is Tired and Worked Up.
Spilling it all out. Yeah, you're tired and worked up. screaming, breaking your necklace on the floor. In a panic disposition, spending your night sleeping in a car. And you're spilling it all out. Yeah, you're tired and worked out.
Tired and Worked Up from Service Dog. I assume that one's going to be on the record?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds different though,
It's
actually.
Yeah, it's insanely different.
Oh, well, tell me about how it's different, yeah.
So the first few times we ever jammed that song with the new drummer Fig, he added these hits in after that one part where it's feeling proud, and then he does like hits where it like waits a half a measure and then we all hit, and it's, I don't know,
It's a lot more full sounding.
yeah, it's hard to
And
explain
it's
it.
like listening to that, it's like so super folky. I feel like I get a lot of like
Really interesting. Okay.
that one is super folky, but I feel like the way it's played now, it's very
It's like in your face.
in your
That's more
face,
sort of a rock sort of edge to it.
but still like ambient,
Yeah.
like a low, like lo-fi rock, I guess, like ambient. I don't know. It's just funny.
cool.
It goes in and out.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Sure, but the drums definitely like change
They bring life.
everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it also, it's when you bring other people in and sort of get their creative vision, as well as when you bring in the different instrumentation and you're working with the producer who has his own vision and his own ideas and how all that comes together. I mean, yeah, but the cool thing is that I think with so much of that kind of work, and especially it sounds like this is a really core part of what you do as the band, is that it very much becomes more than the sum of its parts. It's like that the part of the chemistry of what happens when the different instruments and different creative forces come together. That it comes up with something that you're like, wow, yes, I didn't know that was there, but it's really really cool. I mean, how does that go?
It's I don't know. It's crazy to like be able to bring a song that's just acoustic to 5 other people and have all of them give their input and like all these ideas. Again, it's just I don't know. I feel lucky being able to have that, and they're all just so talented themselves that it's just insane. But I don't know. It's great. It's like creating a painting with friends, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to really say.
Well,
I
it seems like part of what you end up doing with the songwriting is you end up creating like a framework. You know, it's sort of the superstructure that everything else sort of gets layered on top of and
Yes.
built around,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
a lot of the times, like not a lot of the times, but some of the times, like that framework changes depending on
Sure.
what other instruments are doing and everything. Like we've added bridges with lyrics and stuff to songs, extended choruses, shortened choruses, just based off of how everything sounds together. And
That makes sense.
yeah,
Well,
it's
and what's
really
what's that like? I mean, because that also means you have to kind of sit back from your ego. Like, there's this thing that I created, and I'm giving it to these other people, and it's coming back to me in a totally different form. How's
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I think that Leo's actually really good at that. He kind of leaves it as like because like these songs are like his songs, but he doesn't treat them that way. He treats it more of like a group project.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, here's an idea I have, and even though it's like structurally sound for like an acoustic singer songwriter to play,
Right,
like
right.
he's like, we could take this in so many other directions,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and he gives creative freedom to everyone.
I don't like saying
Not that-
they're my songs either.
Yeah.
Like that's like
Yeah, he doesn't like
'cause
saying that.
I don't know.
But
It's
yeah,
they would sound nothing like they do without everybody.
Right, right.
But like in the end, will always have those first few recordings of just me and an acoustic, just on my phones. That's not going anywhere.
That's true.
I can play
That's
the
true.
song whenever I want if I want to hear it like
Right.
that.
Yeah. That never goes
So
away.
it's, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, we're definitely like as a group, like it's like there's not one person like who has I think like authority like in the group. Like I think you see like some other I can't think of anyone right now, but like well, like you think of like big artists like I don't know Taylor Swift. Like she's Taylor Swift,
right.
but like has a band playing behind her, and like they're probably doing like what she kind of wanted or envisioned. But we're like we work together, and we all have input in how the song will sound in the end.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and so that part of that ends up being sort of the community that you form within the band. And I'm also curious about, well, and I'm sure there's a big part of this ends up being, there are other people who are out there, like you say, the drummer who came up to you at that show and he's like, hey, do you want a drummer? I'd be happy to help to work with you guys. My sense is that that you're part of a sort of a larger music scene that may be sort of like adjacent to, but maybe not the same parts of the music scene that I know of. And something that's true, I know it's true here in Lehigh Valley, but I'm sure it's true in a lot of places, that people have their own sort of individual music scenes. And sometimes they can exist right next to each other, but they're not necessarily communicating or overlapping. Tell me, or how would you describe if there is sort of, how do you characterize the music scene that you're a part of? And what are those kinds of places you play, and who are some of the other bands that you listen to? You're like, wow, that's amazing. I want to, build on some of those ideas that they're putting out there.
I wouldn't say that we're directly part of a music scene because I'd really like to just accept like any show that's thrown at us without being like, oh, we shouldn't play with that kind of band or so we've played with like a huge range of genres of people, and that in its own has like just if you stay connected with those people, they always they reach out to you. And
Sure.
I think the biggest thing was starting to play in Bethlehem at like places like Color Me Mine in the back room, where there's like 8 people that came out to the show to see like a touring band that's like pretty well known, and like, but there's just like this music scene wasn't there wasn't like huge venues available for local art and like small touring bands.
Right. Well, I mean, and in certain genres too, because I mean, my sense is that the average like sports pub is maybe not what they're looking for in music is not necessarily the same thing that you're offering, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
There are different venues that make sense for different kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, someplace like Color Me Mine, like you mentioned, the Sokals, and I
Yeah,
mean, so what are
there's-
some other things like that you've seen that really support this kind of independent, genre-defying music that you do?
I would say definitely lit.
Yeah, Lit Coffee Shop
Yeah.
is huge. They
Yeah.
bring in Philly, like a bunch of Philly artists, and like they are huge into supporting the local artists, like from the ground up. Like if it's your first show, they want you there. A thing that really like catapulted us in like the Bethlehem scene was playing like Lehigh shows,
House shows.
like house shows.
Yeah.
We went to an open mic there, and it was like in somebody's basement. It was really it was just me and Wyatt, and it was so awkward because we didn't know anybody there
Right,
except
right.
like the one person that invited us.
And these are all college kids. Although I guess age-wise, it's comparable, right? It's like it's a different scene, but
Yeah, it was all at the time we were all the same age, and it was like just really cool, really random. But then from that, those people were like, "Hey, like we want to like have bands play our basement," and obviously they're college kids, they're not going to pay you to play a show, but you're going
Right.
to play a show to like
Yeah.
50, 60 kids that are like jam packed like sardines in this basement.
Yeah.
And we there's a house called the Dimmadome that we played like 3 or 4 times, and after the first time, like every time after that, it was just insane. Like there was like we had this one song Gray that we don't have out, but like people would sing along just because
that's
they
cool.
could play
Yeah.
in that basement, and it was just like incredible. And that I think that really showed us that, hey, like we can actually, like, people like the songs, like this is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
We should try playing other places. So we reached out to like East Stroudsburg. What other places? I mean, we haven't really been trying to book shows recently because I want to focus more on recording.
Sure.
But occasionally we'll like get reached out to. We played
Most recently was Arts Quest.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Or well, no, that wasn't most recent, but
we
over
played
the summer.
Yeah, over the summer we played. They used to be the Highmark Shield stage, but I think now it's that. It used to be
It's
TD Bank.
that the town square area just outside the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had us play that,
Oh, that's
and
great. Yeah.
that was our first show in like 4 months since everything
Yeah,
started.
it was like once like
right. Yeah.
the world kind of opened up again a
Yeah.
little bit.
And it was
but-
incredible. Like it sold out the day because they had tickets online.
Oh wow.
We usually never play ticketed gigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it had to be though because of COVID.
Yeah, it
That
had
was
to be.
why.
There was like
Okay.
limited.
So to
Yeah.
limit the attendance and make sure
Yeah.
there
Yeah,
wasn't too many
so it
people,
had
yeah.
to be.
But like we were just super excited. It sold out on like the first day
That's
that
amazing.
the link was out, and we were kind of upset because we were like, oh wow, like we have friends that wanted to go that can't.
Right, now they can't.
But it was incredible. Yeah, I think they have the ground and the opportunity to really put a light on the local musicians.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I really like what they're doing, but I think but they should really just make their range a lot bigger, because they do bring back the same musicians a lot, which is understandable. Like there's people who do that to make a living.
Right. Well, and when once they know that there's a following for this is a
Right.
shirt, but I think it's also very cool that now you have some evidence to say, hey, look, we're someone that you took a bit of a chance on, and look how quickly that sold out, so that you can open the doors to other people too. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I know one of the things that obviously a lot of people are doing these days, because the kind of you can't have 50 college kids packed in a basement, or if you do, it's means something has gone wrong in our current day and age. And so obviously a lot of performers have been doing stuff like what we're doing now in terms of live streaming things. Have you been experimenting with that? I know you've posted a few things with just yourself to the YouTube page, doing some of the Service Dog songs just by yourself with the looper, Leo.
Yeah.
Has there been interest in that? Maybe live streams are just not really where it's at for you. How's that look now?
I did a few Zoom ones, and a few Instagram ones that like other people host and like they have you on, and they're cool. It's really hard to make a connection with the audience
Yes.
when you're not physically there with them.
Yeah.
You can't talk to them after you play and
Right.
like you
Or
just
you
like
can, but the way you
like,
talk, the way you communicate is totally different. The medium is
yeah,
totally different.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because you can't really open up to having a conversation after you're playing. So it's just like, well, that happened, and they scroll on to the next one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
also you can't have like he's just been doing them by himself because I think it's hard to get a good sound over a like video call when it's a full band with the
Yeah.
I mean we have so many different like sounds happening
Yeah. Yeah.
songs and so it's like it'd be hard to actually capture like the essence of everything.
Yeah, like right now, I'm working with two inputs, and it's
Yeah.
just the guitar and the microphone. And in the future, like I would love to expand, so because I am able to record all that stuff, but you can't capture it clearly for people to actually listen to and enjoy,
Yeah.
unless you have all those inputs, all those microphones, and that's a lot of money to dive into that. So.
It is. It's a lot of money, and you need a space to be able to do it and have everybody do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be a real challenge. Well, I guess since we do have you with the great setup that you have there with just the two inputs, I would love to hear another song from the two of you right now, if that's a good time, if that works for you.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
All right,
good.
let's do it.
Look at a list on what we got. What did you want to do?
Do
We can do Coasters, Arabella Martin.
do Arabella?
Yeah, let's try that one.
This is a new one actually that
It's gonna be on record 3.
yeah, it's not going to be on the next record, but
Yeah,
Excellent.
one that he likes playing.
I do.
Well, that's a great reason to play it. Let's go for
Yeah.
it.
Hopefully I don't mess it up, but we'll see. Watch 'em line up like ants out on the sidewalk. It's steaming. I make sure to water the plants, put 'em out in the sun and make sure that they're breathing. Working at an American mall whose only purpose is to pillage, can make you feel so small. These conversations are lacking and distant.
nice.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, with the harmonies and the second vocal part coming in, that I'm like, yes, that really pulls it together very, very nicely. Well, so, and Christina, what do you see as when you hear Leo working on a song and you're like, I mean, do you hear the harmonies, or does he come to you and like, hey, I think this could use something extra? How does it work with just the two of you?
So I only just recently started to like teach myself how to harmonize, and
Okay,
so yeah, but
you're a quick study, I gotta say.
thanks. No, I think it's usually a lot of the times because of the music that I listen to, I think I base like what I write harmony wise off of like that kind
Sure.
of stuff. Like, so when I hear his stuff, I kind of hear like, oh, you should like accent this part specifically, or like something needs to be added more to like, I don't know, bring it up
She's
a
really
little
good
bit.
at making
I don't know.
like putting these minor harmonies in places that just pull you. And like when they weren't there, it didn't have a super strong effect, but once you hear it, it's like, whoa, like it really draws you in.
Yeah.
And
Just adds that kind of depth and that texture, and like it becomes
Yeah.
so much more. Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I also wanted to ask about, and something we haven't actually touched on, Leo, is how you and I first met, which, if I remember correctly, was at the Hava Java open mic over
Yep.
in Allentown more than a few years ago. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that was probably 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
That
it
was
was about that. It was about that. It would have been around the time that I was hosting the open mic there, which I did
Yep.
for a while, and then I hosted every other week and alternated with other folks.
Mhm.
And I think you mentioned that in fact, a number of the connections that you had made with people. Tell me how you met Wyatt. I don't think we covered that part, because that's sort of essential
Wyatt.
to the.
Yeah, so I met Wyatt at Hava Java as well.
Okay.
And I met him years before I ever like texted him, because we exchanged numbers and I just saw him play. It was funny because I was in the bathroom and I had no idea who he was.
Okay.
Didn't know he was up next, but I'm like in the bathroom and I hear this music and I was like, that's incredible. Who is
Yeah.
that? So I like walk out of the bathroom and I'm just like, whoa, like this guy is crazy. And I talked to him after we exchanged numbers, and we didn't talk for like a year and a half. Like, yeah. And then one day I was like, oh, this guy. And then
Yeah. What prompted that? What was the sort of the trigger? Like, oh, hey, yeah, I should renew this connection.
So I was playing with an old drummer and bassist that they were like best friends, but they had things come up in life and they had to go their own ways. But when we were together, I was like, oh, we should get a lead guitarist, because I just want to like play and sing and maybe do a few noodles here and there, but not the whole time. And I was like, this is definitely the guy to go to. And I went to his house. Like, we talked for like 2 days, and he was like, yeah, come over, we'll jam on something. And when I went over, that's where we wrote the song Alston off of Hard Ground. And it was the first thing that we played together. And I just showed him this like super simple like 4-chord, it was a 3-chord finger picking pattern thing. And he was like, oh yeah, I have something for that. And then just puts this thing that like plays this beautiful like off timing guitar melody that just like worked perfectly and harmonized in every single way over every chord. And I just like looked at him and I was like who are you? And yeah, ever since that I always bring like the songs to him right away. And he still does that, like to this day. I'll show him a song and he's like, I got this. And I'm just like,
You're like, yes, that.
yeah, it's just like it works perfectly every time. And
That's wild.
it's funny because we just sit down and he'll do that and we just laugh, because I'm like, I don't know where you're
Every
pulling
time.
this from, but it's incredible.
Yeah.
That
And
is-
then
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then we met Kai too. I feel like everyone that we met was through a music,
Through open mics and
through
shows.
open mics and shows. Because Kai, well, we met Kai at Hookah Turka. That they're the old open mic that used to be there that Bill Madey hosted.
Right.
Which is where the one that we met at too. And then we met Kai there, and then we met Kai through. We met Alex through Kai, and then Fig at another show. So it's all been music related, which is really
Yeah.
Wyatt and I have played shows with Alex and Kai, but not as a band. Like they played as their own band,
Yeah.
and we played, and we never thought about making music together.
Right.
And then that sparked, and we went
Yeah.
over.
What led to like, oh yeah, we should, instead of playing separately, we should play together.
Wyatt and I were just thinking that like we could use, we were still at the time looking for a drummer, and we were like, we should get a bassist too. Like, why not? And I'm like scrolling on Instagram, and Kai posts this thing, and she's like, "Oh, I just got a bass. Like, I'm gonna learn bass." And I was like, "This is perfect."
There you go.
And,
Yeah.
she just started playing bass.
Okay.
And she shreds. It's insane. I don't know how like someone makes progress that fast on it, but it's really cool. And yeah, the first time we went and jammed with them, Alex, like we didn't think that like Alex would be an option, and he like sat in, and we were like, we can't see it without this now.
Yeah.
And it was just
Right.
so incredible. We were like, this is, it was
It
fun.
immediately became essential to sort of the sound that you were creating.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
It really wouldn't be the same without them at all.
Yeah, very nice. Well, and I do regret that we don't have everybody, but people should definitely look for the album. We have just a little bit more time to do one more song. Would you rather? I'll leave it up to you as the guest. Would you rather do one live, or would you rather do one of those other recordings?
Probably do one live.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. All right, please do.
You want to do Martin?
Yeah, we can do whatever you'd like to do. What you're working on. That's up to you.
This is a hard decision. I'm going to think about this for the last like 5 minutes we have.
No, make a decision. Go.
What do you want to do?
This is the musician version of Where Do You Be?
We're going to play.
I know.
We'll play Martin. It's about
Okay.
the Martin Tower in Bethlehem.
Oh, okay,
we
excellent.
actually-
Yes. You also have it on the YouTube channel. Yes, please.
We were on our way actually to the beach, and we were like, let's stop because it was the same day. So there's references to the beach in the song because of that, but the whole song, the premise of the song is about the Martin Tower because it
Yeah.
is an odd feeling to share with all these people.
Yeah.
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 I haven't sang the song
Song this sang.
sang the song in a while. So.
Yeah. Cool. Watch you step barefoot on the boulder pier, digress alone until a steady pace. I'll face my fears of floating off white noise waves. I can't get Martin off my mind. We watched the old steel lose a chance to stand the test of time. Stare and shout to the sea of dust fading out. A memory lost to the wind, left to sit in a landfill. So gather around and cheer at the tragedy. Too loud to not look, too heavy to heal. Bring your cameras and family, your pets and your friends, your drinks and your neighbors, your troubles, no matter how large or how petty. And cheer at the tragedy. Too loud to not look, too heavy to heal. Bring your cameras and family, and cheer at the tragedy. Too loud to not look, too heavy to heal. Bring your cameras and family and cheer.
And it's such a nice way to it, yeah, because it has this kind of finality of like, you know, the things don't turn out the way we necessarily want, and then things keep on rolling, life keeps on going.
Yeah.
Which, come to think of it, ends up being I think there's never a bad time for that message, but it seems to, for right now, it's hitting me pretty right in the feelings. Is that one going on the record?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to
Super excited for that one.
Yeah, that was going to be really
that
cool.
ending is like twice
very
as long
big.
as what
Yeah.
we did.
Oh, I'm
but
sure, and that probably is sort of it swells, and as everyone sort of comes in, yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to hear that. So when will we get to approximately get to hear that on the record?
maybe I'll say 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to. I definitely want to give myself a deadline, not a deadline, a timeline, and a frame of reference for it. But I don't know. I'm not huge in rushing this stuff, but it's also like we're sitting
Right.
on this record, and then we also have 12 songs for the next record done. So
Yeah. It's just a matter of finding the time to also do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, and people have lives and other things they need to do in addition
Yep.
to spending time on the music. Well, I can't wait till we get to hear the album. So we'll look for that in the late spring, summer of 2021, and that'll be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Leo, Christina, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm very, very grateful and that you were able to make time.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
And I should also say, Leo, that your mom has been watching through the whole show, and I've been busy talking to you instead of responding to her comments, but she was remarking about her favorite songs, which was Tired and Worked Up, and has been applauding, and has been saying wonderful things about the group. So thanks very much, Leo's mom, for watching and hanging out with us. All right. Thanks so much to the two of you. I'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. All right, and then I'm going to put it back on me. And here's to you, everyone, including Leo's mom, everyone who has been out there watching and spending this time with us here on Rock in the Valley's Cyber Speakeasy. I'm always grateful when you're able to take a few minutes and come check this out. The plan is I'll be right back here in my attic stairwell 1 week from today, and we're going to keep on doing a few more shows from now to the end of the year, and then other things will happen. So tune in next week, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on your Thursday evening for Rock in the Valley's Cyber Speakeasy, your source for music, conversation, and cocktails. Cinema sticks in the way. My name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you right here next time.